Main event review time for February 13th, 2013. This is a very weird episode as far as how it's set up, but not in the first half. It's more of the second half of this show. So let's get started. We start off with the highlight reel. Chris Jericho, yes, bringing the highlight reel to the main event. He says that originally the guest was going to be The Miz, but because of what happened on Raw with Antonio Cesaro, when Cesaro gave him those giant swings back and forth on the padded guardrail, Miz couldn't make it. So, he found a suitable replacement. Alberto Del Rio. So, Ricardo Rodriguez comes in, introduces him, and Del Rio comes out. And they have, like a nice cordial little talk about how Alberto's father, Dos Caras, helped Jericho when he was in Mexico when he first started, and how he has much respect for him. And then they talk about the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, where Chris Jericho is going to win the Elimination Chamber match, and that he is going to go to WrestleMania to challenge Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title, and he will beat him and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Which then goes into a very funny, minute and a half bit where all three of them are arguing in Spanish, which is just absolutely funny because Jericho does know Spanish. He's very fluent in Spanish. So you got Del Rio, Rodriguez, and Jericho all talking in Spanish, and just having this argument. It was just really funny. So then here comes Dolph Ziggler out with his crew, and he says to Del Rio and to everyone that between now, February the 13th, the day this episode aired, and WrestleMania, he will cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase for the World Heavyweight title. So, and then this leads into Alberto Del Rio against Dolph Ziggler, and this is a good match. This is a really good match between the two guys. I'm really hoping we get a lot more of this in the near future after WrestleMania is over. This was just such a good match, a good back and forth bout between the two men. It must have been over 20 minutes, maybe almost 25 minutes of airtime that these two men got, and this was just a very good match. The ending of the match was good. Del Rio, he gets attacked by Big E Langston, and then Rodriguez hits Langston with the bucket that he's been carrying as of late, and I really don't know why he has this bucket. I wish someone would tell me why he has this bucket out. So Rodriguez is being chased by Big E Langston up the ramp and in the locker room. So AJ Lee's trying to distract the referee. Ziggler goes for the zigzag, but that gets blocked. And then Del Rio locks in the armbar. Ziggler taps. Del Rio wins in a really good match. This was just a good match. One that a lot of people should watch. So, after that, JBL and Michael Cole, they talk about the upcoming Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And Matt Striker is in the back with Paul Heyman, who is in possession of the WWE title that Punk stole a couple of nights ago from Raw. And he says that the reason that Punk isn't here for this interview is because he is getting trained. He is training for this Sunday's championship defense against The Rock. And he says that if The Rock is disqualified or counted out, then CM Punk would retain the WWE Championship. And I really liked it because you have the whole mindset that Punk's still champion. Punk's still the champion. He never lost the belt. So this was really good. So then they start building up the rest of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So you got a couple minutes left, and you're thinking, okay, well, they could probably squeeze in another match. Nope. The show ends with them showing the Shield from Monday night and John Cena, Ryback, Sheamus, the fight. That's how main event ends. I could expect that for WrestleMania. I would have no problems with that. But not for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'm sorry. You want to hype up a show, that's fine, that's good, but this is supposed to be, a show that gets 2 matches. And I only get one. One. And the rest of the time, you hype up the pay-per-view. And you end with something that happened on another show. I just didn't like that. I understand the purpose. I understand the reason why, so people could buy the pay-per-view. But I just did not like that idea at all. But I will say that if you're going to watch this episode of Main Event, you have to watch it for Del Rio and Ziggler. It was such a good match between the two of them. And like I said, I really hope that after WrestleMania is over, that they put those two together in a feud and a story, because those two, I think, have the potential to have some very good matches in the near future. Just please make that match happen. Make it possible. But, well, that and the highlight reel, those were the only 2 good things about this episode. It's just the fact that you use the last 10 minutes or so of Main Event, which really does have good matches on there, to hype your pay-per-view. Like I said, if it was WrestleMania, I would have understood. If it was the Royal Rumble, I would have understood. But not the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Please, come on. You could do this at any other time. But why there? That's all I'm going to say. It was a good show, had a really good match, but I just went a weird way to end it by hyping up the pay-per-view.